deterrent to in-person meetings is scheduling. It's not easy to clear a physician's schedule. It's not easy to just block umpteen amount of minutes or hours, depending on how many reps are stopping by your office. In a day, most physicians are extremely busy from the minute they walk into the office to the minute they walk out. And then they take their work home. They're still dictating. They're still answering calls. They may be on call. So in some ways, a physician's work is never really done. But I would say the biggest hindrance there is if a pharma rep presents themselves at a time where there is no time. And so everybody loses out. The physician no longer gets exposed to whatever the therapy was, the question was, the answer was, and the pharmaceutical rep is also losing out. And so is the company, because now you've wasted an employee's time. Now, the flip side of that is I've had a very bold, and this was in the past 6 months, a very bold representative that called me for several days, called my office several days. I'd like a meeting with Dr. Mehra. I'd like a meeting with Dr. Mehra. Dr. Mehra was extremely busy this week. I did not have time to meet her. What she did was Monday morning, she went ahead and took a patient slot and actually scheduled herself a 30-minute patient visit with me. Now you can imagine that didn't go over well with me, because when I went in to see my 11:30 patient, thinking it was a real patient, and I walk in and it's a pharmaceutical rep, obviously I had choice words. So I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. I would not recommend taking a patient spot. We had to educate my staff and say that's never okay. But, again, this representative just wanting to explain her product, and she really explained, well, I tried to get a hold of you. This was the only way. Well, I promise you that was not the only way. And I promise you also turned me off from using you or using your product because you didn't respect my time and sort of the way that the process works. So at the end of the day, she lost out not only on business, if she has another representative or colleague or coworker and they present that therapy to me in a more respectful way, I may be open to using it. But I'm proving a point here that engagement and how you engage a physician is of utmost importance. The last point I want to make is it's not a one size fits all. The way that I interact with a representative, I may be very technologically comfortable. I may love the webinars and the virtual meetings. I may love the virtual conference rooms. I have colleagues that are 20 years older than me in the field, and they feel very uncomfortable with all this. They still prefer the in-person meetings. They still prefer a phone call and some flyers or handouts. And so at the end of the day, it's also about knowing your audience, knowing what works for them, what's comfortable for them, knowing how the doctor's day is structured and how to be respectful of that.